Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to North Shore Live, Cooper's Corner. We're live this evening. This is March the 18th, because yesterday everybody was wearing green, and it was St. Patrick's Day. So happy belated St. Patrick's Day. And to everyone who is or is not Irish, you can always wear green. But, you know, yesterday was the day to wear it anyway. So this evening, and I hope that the weather is becoming more tolerable, because we don't have 70 degrees now. Now it's going down to like the 40s. Excuse me. On this evening's program, we have the Independence Center out of Waukegan, Illinois. A wonderful place for people, human beings, to gather, talk, provide services for each other. And we've got the clinical director here from the Independence Center. We've got Jean Marceron. And welcome. I'm going to shake your hand. Oh, your hands are warm now. This is good.
Came in out of the cold.
Came in out of the cold. Very good. I'm gonna let Jean talk about the Independence a little bit. He gave me some pamphlets and a pen and a wrist bracelet to wear, and we've got such goodies here, and we're just going to carry this conversation because this now really it's seasonal, but the temperatures are high, are low, hopefully no more snow. But those that do suffer from a mental disability, a mental illness, really need our help. And they really would appreciate someone's kindness to them. If you could reach out to some of these group homes or agencies and see what is it that you can do. And if you would like to be a volunteer, that would be great. Those who are in the retiree classification, Waukegan's not very far. The weather is really now getting better. It's become light until around 7 o'clock in the evening. So it's easy to get to, down 41. And if you're south of Waukegan, you just go north, and you can't miss it. It's there. So we're going to talk to Jean about what is it that Independence Center has that makes it so convenient for a number of people, and what does it do for those that suffer from a mental disability. So you kind of know what the question is, Jean.
Yes.
So, okay, go have at it, kid.
Okay. Well, Independence Center was started by NAMI of Lake County back in 1989, and I know you had some people from NAMI on last week.
True.
And I saw the program. And our services include a variety of services for adults with severe and persistent mental illness. And that would include psychosocial rehabilitation services. And psychosocial rehab is about helping people develop skills so that they can live more independently and depend less on help from professionals, be as self-sufficient as possible. And so we're looking at helping people with the skills to cope with their mental illness better, to do the activities of daily living that we all have to do better, to manage their physical health better, to improve their social skills, and to develop some skills needed so that they can return to work if they're not working.
Now, they don't live there. People come in. Now, what age grouping do you work with?
Anyone over 18, and we do have our main program where we have the PSR services and some of our other services, but we do also have housing. That's all within Waukegan, but not at our main site. And in our housing program, we have 45 beds altogether, and that includes some of the beds are for people who have been homeless prior to being placed there. We do other services like case management, which is linking people with the goods and resources that they need in the community, maybe services that we don't personally offer at Independence Center. We do individual, group, and family therapy.
There at the center?
At Independence Center, yes.
Oh,
And we have vocational services and place people on jobs, help support them once they're on the job, and for those who aren't yet working, help them to prepare to work.
Now, if someone is watching this program and they have a spouse, or they have a son or a daughter or family member, and they would like to, this sounds good to them, and wherever they may be, they'd like to come down to Independence Center. Can you give them a tour? Can you show them around? Do they come to you, report to you, or what is it that's needed for them to?
Yeah, I'd be happy to help with any of those issues. They could contact me personally. Our mainline, our receptionist is used to getting inquiries about services, and she can tell people how to get started. We have a website that people can visit if they want more information.
Oh,
as well.
that must be it. There you go. Is that
that's it right there.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Now, we should let you tell the phone number there. I mean,
847-360-1020.
Okay.
That's our main number.
And they could ask for Jean. Could they ask for you?
They can ask for me.
Okay,
yes.
They could ask for you. I'm absolutely astounded in the housing. Brings tears to my eyes, because there was nothing any time before. I mean, there was really nothing, Jean. I mean, and I'm just going to read a little bit here. It says you've got housing. Individuals with disabilities often experience difficulty acquiring affordable, supportive housing. The Independence Center has developed a residential program that addresses the housing needs of many of our members. And this is a beautiful house that I shows on the bottom. It says, this is one of several housing units owned by Independence Center that many members call home. And where is this one located, the one that's on here?
Let me see that one. That one is on Washington Street in Waukegan.
Really? And was that converted from something else, or is this a brand new?
No, it was an existing apartment complex that we purchased and did some renovations to, but it's pretty much as we purchased it. We put in an elevator and
Wow,
things
this
like
is
that.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, this is because they have disability, probably walking. Is there a problem, or if they?
Although we serve people with mental illness, we want to be accessible to people with all disabilities. And
okay.
so we strive to make all our facilities accessible. And, people who have mental illness, that's not always their only issue. They may also be in a wheelchair or have health problems, co-occurring substance abuse disorders. And we provide a holistic approach to our services, so we want to help them with whatever struggles that they're facing, even if it may not be directly related to their mental illness.
So, here on this flyer, by the way, this flyer, you see that? I think if you go online or if you contact Gene and you ask for one of these, he'd be happy to send you one or show you how to get one or whatever. This gives a lot of information on this fold over, and it says becoming a member, which means of Independence Center. To become a member, one must be an adult 18 years or over. Now, did you say with mental illness?
Yes.
You have to have some documentation that.
Well, we do our own assessment.
Okay.
So, either they have a past history of treatment or when they come in and we assess them, maybe that's their first treatment episode,
Oh.
and we'll determine whether there's an issue we can address.
Okay.
And if it's not a mental illness, we'll try to provide a referral to somewhere that can help them with whatever issue
Now,
that they're having.
if it's just a depression or they're going through some kind of a phase, are you still required, or are you still wanting to accept them? If it's depression, is that considered
Depression is a severe and persistent mental illness,
mental
yes.
illness? Okay.
So that certainly is one of the disorders that we address in our treatment.
It's to please call 847-360-1020, and I guess your number is the 1021. Is that you?
No, my extension is 1024.
Okay.
And I'd certainly be happy to go into great detail on our services
On
for
the
anybody
services.
who wants to give me a call.
The therapy groups, now that's what you have here. This is for adult outpatient services, though. So
Yes.
how does that work?
Therapy groups are addressing the symptoms of the mental illness and helping people develop skills to cope with those symptoms better, and also not just the coping skills, but learn how to take their medications better, develop stronger support systems, basically any of the resources that they need to do better as far as managing their mental illness and their health altogether as well.
Now, what happens if you have someone that, would like to be a member of Independence Center and would like housing there, but it's problematic with taking their medication? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And that there may be, law enforcement intervention.
Sure.
Then what do you do?
Well, we do what we can.
I mean, you don't, remove them. I
No,
mean, okay.
no, we don't turn people away.
Wait, okay.
We serve people who have never taken medications, who don't want to see a psychiatrist,
Okay.
and we won't turn them away. We'll try to educate them on the benefits that medication might provide in psychiatric services, but we're still accepting, and
Nice.
we'll keep them in our program. The only kind of caveat is if there's behaviors that the person is doing because they're not taking their medication that might
Sure.
limit what we can do for them.
Is there a lease that they have to sign? Is there an application for the Independence Center? That's one.
Yes.
And is there a lease that has to be signed or co-signed with someone for them to find housing?
Yes. If somebody becomes a member at Independence Center and then they're interested in housing, they'll go through a separate assessment process for the housing services. Same process if they're interested in our vocational services. We'll assess them on their vocational needs as well. So yeah, there are specialized assessments for people who are looking for our kind of ancillary services that we have.
What do you do about? Here's a thing on vocational. This is very good. I'm ready for that any minute now. Okay, so what kind of position can you help provide vocationally for someone, either male or female or whatever? What can you provide for them?
Well, there's different routes to job placement, and it's dependent on what the person's needs and preferences are, what they'd like to do,
Okay.
and also what their skill sets are. We have members who have graduate degrees, and some that never completed, the ninth grade.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of skill levels. And being mentally ill doesn't mean that you can't work.
The disability is, strikes all. It doesn't make a difference,
Right.
if you're educated or how many master's degrees you have or whatever. I mean,
Absolutely not.
and
No.
that unfortunately is the worst because of all that education and the possibility of that person helping society,
Right.
and they themselves being struck by a disability, Gene.
Yeah.
It's a disability. Somebody's got to be able to help them as well. That's terrible.
And I think that the members of Independence Center have a lot to offer employers as well. And we've worked with a lot of employers in the community, including Goodwill Industries
Oh,
and
good.
TJ Maxx and Marshalls, Great America.
Do you go to the stores with them and introduce them, or does the client or member go there to fill out an application, or is this something that's done on the phone? How do you reach the outside society with this person?
Yeah, actually, any and all of those scenarios apply. Again, we really want to work with the members based on their preferences. And when it comes to employment, some of our members want us very involved in helping them get the job
Yeah.
and providing support once they get the job. Other members might, just want a few leads, help with their resume, but maybe want us to be hands off once they're at the job because of stigma and whatnot. So
I want to ask you, funny that you should have brought that up. That was very big many years ago, and I'm hoping that it's not as big or it's diminished. Stigma. What do we do about stigma?
that's a tough one. I think, when mental illness is in the news, it's often, the worst case scenario. I'm thinking, when I first got into the field many years ago, Lori Dan was in the news.
Sure.
And unfortunately, that's the exception with mental illness, but that's what gets the media coverage.
That gets the attention.
Right, not the good things that happen with people who have mental illness. That's not covered, but the sensationalized stuff does. So, unfortunately, it's still a problem. And, I think all we can do is educate the public and maybe people will come around like they do with other issues like racism and all those kinds of problems.
Not so many years ago, people would see other people either with a walking cane or a wheelchair, and they felt, how could they relate to this person? Because they couldn't. How would they perform at their job? Would they be able to do as well a job as someone who did not need the wheelchair or walking cane or whatever? That's a disability. We're talking about someone who has the ability, providing they take the medication and everything is working well, to be able to be a very productive member of society. And I'm sure you must find that as well. I mean, people may come in one way, but if they feel that they're being helped and they feel they're wanted, it may do a complete change. I mean, the companies must be able to see that. I mean, they could probably say, well, maybe say like Easter time's coming. They want to prepare for Easter, and they might need some help in the store, more sales people, or straightening up the racks or whatever. And the ones having the disability may feel a little down, but that the store, if they give them the opportunity to show that they can do the work, they're not slackers, they're willing to do the work, and they just don't want to have anybody hold that stigma over them that they suffer from mental illness. They could say disability, because, If you're, if you have red hair, they're going to say that's a disability. You're a redhead, so we can't have that. But
You're looking at my red beard.
I'm looking at that. But that's good. I mean, because they show people that everybody's different, but that doesn't mean they can't climb the ladder of success.
Well, and I think that's part of educating the public too. Is mental illness is not just one thing in one person. Everybody is unique.
Yeah.
And there are very talented people with severe and persistent mental illness. Think of all the artists.
Oh, for sure.
It's being mentally ill does not mean that you're not a good worker. But if somebody has problems with their self-esteem, I mean, that's why holistic services are so important, to help them build their self-esteem so they are confident when they're able to return to work. So hopefully that, won't be as much
there's
of an issue.
great painters, great musicians,
Yes.
great, they just are suffer from such a disability that you can't really put your finger on it directly, but their creativity is, boundless.
Not just artistic people, people who are CEOs.
Sure.
A lot of that's driven by if there's somebody who with mania, for example.
Yeah.
A lot of people when they have the mania are very productive, like do things that we can't even dream of.
That's
have
right.
Boundless energy.
That's right, absolutely. But that mania is high, but then when it drops, that's the difficulty part.
Yeah.
How do you pick them up after that?
Yeah.
That's really.
But not everybody has so many of the drop cycles.
Oh, yeah.
Some people tend to stay up a lot.
But that's
So,
mania. Wow.
Yeah.
Those people don't sleep day, night, anytime. They're just on the move. That's
They get a lot done.
Type A. Oh yeah, they get a lot done. Absolutely, absolutely. So the big chain stores, like Jewel, or I don't even know if we have Dominic's around anymore. I don't think there's any more Dominic's, but they could possibly use them as baggers. Do you contact the store
Sure.
manager and say, look, we've got somebody here who I think will do very well?
Yes. Yeah, we actually, Dominic's is now no longer in existence, but yeah, we did have placements there, and we do have placements at Jewel, and not just baggers, other positions as well. We've got people who are cashiers and doing stock work, so yeah.
So it doesn't make a difference if they're male or female, as long as they can do the job. I mean, if you say, well, we're looking for a woman who's able to do the the accounting or whatever else, and you say you have those members that have degrees. So have you brought someone from that kind of a background into a workforce with accounting maybe, or something of that nature?
Yeah, we had somebody who when they were involved with us, they were pursuing job in healthcare, and they got their degree,
Okay.
and then went off to work in the field, and we haven't heard from them since. So hopefully they're doing well.
Wow, that's true. That's a gold star for you, for sure.
Yeah.
They
So-
come
and
in.
for them. It's
wow.
a gold star.
Yeah, but they feel they've got somebody cared enough about them to be able to get them a job position, and look, they took off like a firefly. That's terrific.
And that speaks to, there's a lot of different courses for mental illness. There's people who, have brief episodes and kind of bounce back, and then they're able to do well in life afterwards. They just need a little boost for a while to get back on their feet. And then some people are more episodic, where they have the ups and downs. And then some people really need a lot of support for the long term. So, again, mental illness isn't just one face, it really has many different faces and can affect different people in many different ways.
What about transportation? Because I know that really is a thorn in the side of any progress that you want to make, because you say, okay, I got a job, I've got someone for the job, but we don't have transportation.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point. One thing, and hopefully this isn't something that the state cuts out, is disabled people can get disabled riders ride free pass, just like senior citizens can.
Oh, nice.
And that covers them on the buses, the trains, the L, everything. And another good thing about Waukegan, where we're located, is it tends to have better public transit than most suburbs do.
If you don't have a car out this area, Gene, there's no way to get around.
There is not, no.
I mean, this is for truth. There is no way to get around. Either bicycle, if you can handle a bicycle, or walk, but you'll be walking like that fellow, walking 21 miles a day.
Right.
Rain, sleet, or snow, whatever it is. But a car, that would be, maybe they could share a ride.
Yeah,
Maybe they would have, multiple riders in there. And,
And we have looked into helping people arrange stuff like that. And, I did say a minute ago that Waukegan has better public transit than most of the suburbs.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as in the city. So, if somebody has a night shift, it's going to be difficult for them because the buses and trains only run to
up to a certain
point.
time. That's right.
And on holidays and Sundays,
that's a whole nother schedule.
Whole nother story.
Yeah, that's right. So, I don't know. Has the center ever looked into your own bus? To pick up people at main stops and drop them off at main stops?
We do have that, actually. We have a transportation coordinator who does a pickup run in the morning and a drop-off run in the afternoon, but he's limited as terms of what he can do, how many people he can transport, and where he can go, too. So we try to go where the need is greatest, where the bus routes aren't as good, and we try to send him in that direction.
Even if they could drop them off in one location, they could connect with public transportation in another direction. That would be helpful, because this weather that we've been through, this was horrific this winter. Nothing certainly as bad as Boston, with 108 inches. Could you believe this? 108, and I think they're getting more snow. Poor people.
Oh no, it's not over yet.
No, it's not over yet. This is March. We have a little while to go, and those people are
coming
going to
in
be
like a lion.
they're going to be absolutely devastated with all that water. After that snow starts to melt, what are they going to be?
Right.
All the floods that are going to be happening.
Yeah.
So have you had any problems? I mean, we'd like to tell the good side about everything, and it sounds like the center is really doing well for its members, which is really good. Is there something that the center might need? I mean, we have a lot of people now, it's coming about to be spring. They want to, maybe change the furniture in their housing, and they would like to give their furniture away.
No.
Do you accept furniture, or do you accept clothing, or do you accept...
Well, we have difficulties with that kind of stuff because of storage, and one thing with furniture is lately bed bugs have been a problem,
Really?
And even
Sorry.
even 4-star hotels are getting bed bugs, so used furniture is kind of
iffy.
a little iffy.
All right,
but,
so I mean, because in the brochure you showed the housing units. I didn't know, and we didn't even ask. Are they furnished?
They are furnished.
Okay,
All
so
our
they're
housing
furnished.
is furnished.
Okay, so it's not that you need any furniture. You're not in any need of, pianos or organs or musical instruments or anything like that?
Not in particular, but
You're
yeah,
doing
certainly.
well.
But, actually, the big thing that, and you probably hear this from a lot of social service agencies, is money.
Money is good. Money is very good, Gene. Money. We had John on here, John Fallon, and he's the one. He's the treasurer.
He's the treasurer.
Yeah, he's
yes.
the guy you want to connect with. He said he had his checkbook already. He came with his checkbook. I said, "Oh, John, anyway." But money is good. Donations are good.
Yeah, and we've had people volunteer their services as well. We have somebody who's coming in on a regular basis and teaching the members breathing yoga and doing a group on that.
That's interesting.
Which is pretty neat. And she actually, does exercises with them. And
this is good. Because if someone out there, if you're looking, if you'd like to send, in honor of someone's birth or graduation, this is okay. This is. Do you have a board or anything to put down for graduations or birthdays or passings and memorials? Do you have anything like that they say they'd like to write a check and they want you to benefit from
Sure,
them?
yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I don't know. Do you have anything like that? You don't have
if somebody wants to make a donation in memory of somebody,
oh,
we'd certainly
sure,
accommodate
that would be
that.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that would be good.
absolutely.
And look at, here are the employers. Wow, look at the employers. Goodwill, Jewel Osco, Six Flags.
Yes.
Six Flags. The Challenge Unlimited, I don't know what that is.
They do, believe it's like landscaping work at the LaBelle Federal Health Center.
Okay. So someone who is good with horticulture
Sure.
or
Yeah.
botany or whatever. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. This is wonderful. Those are good employers. And I think, for the most part, would, keep an employee as long as they're doing their job well.
Yeah.
There would be not a problem with that.
Yeah, no, and again, I think we provide them with a good product in our members serving as employees, and in turn, our employers have been very good working with us, and have been willing to learn about the population we serve and are accommodating as well.
Gee, I have to tell you, I'm very impressed. I did not know. Now, Six Flags, what would they be doing? Can they could be at the hot dog stand or food service, or you could have them ticket, when they come in to purchase a ticket. I haven't been there in years, so I don't know what the routine is. You buy it online or you buy it there at Six Flags?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the ticket sales myself.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've been on a roller coaster.
Yes,
so.
well, life is a roller coaster. You've been on it every day. Don't pull a fib on me, Gene. You've been on it every day.
We have had people do food service in the park and in different positions. So yeah, the concessions is one of
concession stands. That would be
the
very good.
We've had there. Yes.
Now, I think the public certainly is aware. We need to tell you, everybody, we are on YouTube. So please do stop by and take a look at us. There it is down there. There's the YouTube address. There we go. YouTube.com/North Shore Live CC, and that stands for Cooper's Corner. Take a look at that. This is going to be on the YouTube. We have some very interesting programs that have been on. And Joe Jansen, who was on about 6 months ago, with his son, regarding his son Daniel, who is autistic, and he has had 2,300, I think, and 50 views in 6 months. That's quite a lot. I mean, I'm overwhelmed with that. But people want to know more about what it is, what society needs to know about families who have those who are who are suffering from this disability. And the fact that Daniel was a graduate of the University of Iowa, but he suffers from autism, which to me, you need to have someone who is understanding and informational and educated in that, because I have a grandson that's autistic. So, you know, you need to know what you're talking about before anybody makes any kind of comments about that particular subject. Mr. Amu we had on, the Nigerian national who came here to America, had four degrees, four major degrees, master's degrees, became an attorney, and ran across some difficulty in the Cook County court system. And he has, I think it's 3,525, almost 4,000 views, same timeline, 6 months, which is miraculous. We're just so happy that you have shown that much interest in the program. And so I do invite you, there it is, there it is, YouTube, to go take a look. And you have your choice of whatever you'd like to see. And we certainly have, from a year ago, the Kaluzinski case, and that was on 48 hours. I guess I kind of beat out 48 hours a year ago, but that's all right. I won't let that go to my head. That's all right. Gene's here to keep me grounded. He'll do a good job. He's very good. So, and we have a wonderful, and this is all because, you know, it used to be a program, you asked for it, and with Skippy Peanut Butter, and they used to have people who ask questions, and how do you do that, and what do you do, and how do you find the information. It's really important to find Eugene. It's important to find the Independence Center, because there are people that need you desperately. So why don't you tell our viewers again how they can find you, a phone number, an address, whatever.
Sure. We're at 2025 Washington Street in Waukegan, and our phone number is 847-360-1020, and our website is www.icwaukegan.org.
Yep, there it is. And I hope that, you know, you will be very lucky to, you know, come across some very compassionate and eager people that might want to really help you along in the center. I mean, not saying that you turn anybody away, but perhaps they would like to do something on behalf of someone that either they've lost or is going through this situation with mental illness. From your perspective to the viewers out there, how would you be able to see or know if someone has that disability? How would you know that? I mean,
well, you won't necessarily know by looking at somebody whether they have a mental illness or not. It's not going to be written across their face.
No.
But you know, if talking to people, you might pick up on things. If somebody is constantly very down and might be talking about, well, what if life what if I weren't here,
Oh.
kind of thing, or maybe not overtly expressing that they're gonna kill themselves,
Yeah.
but that might be a sign of depression. If you see a person, we talked a little earlier about the effects of mania,
Yeah, we
and
did.
what those
Yeah,
signs
for
might
sure.
be.
Yeah.
And if somebody has a mania and depression, you'll see the highs and the lows.
Lows.
And certainly, if somebody seems to be preoccupied with what's going on in their head and not in tune with what's in their environment, that could be a sign of something as well. Like they're mumbling to themselves a lot, don't seem to be
Well, so
engaged.
people
And
shouldn't be afraid, but if they can contact someone, or maybe a family member, maybe they are not aware of this, if they're doing this privately and the parents or family members don't know this is going on, I mean, would they call the parents? They'd have to call the parents, or, I mean, I'm all for someone helping someone else. Just help them out. You can't be calling law enforcement every time someone is, having a situation, or, I don't know, having an episode, so to speak, unless it is life-threatening or a danger to themselves or someone else, maybe in the apartment or in the Independence Center. Have you ever had a problematic situation that you had to react to?
yeah, I mean, there's times when crisis intervention is necessary.
Yeah.
If somebody is expressing that they're going to hurt themselves, for example, you'd have to act on that. So that does happen. But it doesn't have to be that a person's hitting bottom to seek our services.
Oh, okay.
And it may or may not be a friend or family member or a coworker who, it gives the person kind of the push to come see us.
Yeah.
People can come see us on their own. Maybe they want to improve things for themselves. Maybe they've had trouble keeping housing,
Oh.
keeping jobs. Maybe they've used alcohol or other drugs
Yeah.
to kind of self-medicate their symptoms. And maybe they would just like to have a better life for themselves. And so it doesn't, have to be someone else that contacts us. People
Themselves.
can come on their own. Yeah, and that's usually the best case scenario anyways. People have to want to help themselves.
You don't want to tell somebody who's 35 years old or 42 years old, you can't do this or you can't do that. But if it's, not appropriate to do something, and Illinois now has these stores that you can buy drugs. And I'm not talking about a pharmacy. I'm talking about, the cannabis or whatever else they've got going on. How do you do that? I mean, do you allow them to come in to smoke? Do you allow them to come in to, be medicated? When the members come into, the center, are there no smoking signs, or are there no drinking, or no, what do you...
Well, we provide people with a very complete orientation when they get started
Yeah.
with us. And we don't allow people to smoke indoors. We don't allow people to be intoxicated on our property or bring alcohol or other drugs to the center. There's no weapons allowed. There are rules that we go over with people.
But if they can go into a shop and buy cannabis and they want to smoke that on the premises, I mean, it won't be in the building, but it would be, outside the door.
Well, we wouldn't allow it on our property.
Okay.
Whether it be outside or inside.
So do you check what they have? They say, I want to smoke, or I want to drink, or I want to, you check any of that, or you just allow them to come in, and then if they break the rule, then you have to set the pace.
Yeah, if we see we wouldn't just search people, but if we see signs that somebody's intoxicated, or they smell of cannabis or something
Yeah.
like that, we would ask them to leave,
And they're going to ask you why, and what are you going to say to them?
you're intoxicated.
All right, but they'll say they can come back as long as they're okay. And
Yeah, we might, do a safety plan around the issue.
Oh. See?
With stipulations. You can come back if you're not intoxicated.
Okay, because I don't want the public to just think that they can just come in and they can have their way with, doing whatever they want in there and whatever else. There are rules or regulations
Sure,
they have to
yeah.
follow.
Oh yeah, we've got a comprehensive rules. People are provided with a comprehensive orientation.
I mean, everybody has to be safe.
Yeah, and we orient the people who we employ, people
Okay.
who, even our contractors are educated on
Okay.
on what to expect, and it's very thorough, and it's not just about you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And the orientation also kind of gives people an idea of what to expect from our services as well. This is how our services might help you. This is one of the therapeutic approaches that we use. We go over everything with people. It's very
'cause,
thorough.
You don't want to scare anyone away. Once they're down there, you want to show them that they have the ability to do well and to provide good for themselves, besides probably securing a job, which would be wonderful. Those people here, the employers, are wonderful. So you wouldn't want to scare them away, but they have to know they would have to follow the rules of the center, and they would have to follow the rules of their employers. So, you're not just dealing with children, so to speak. You're dealing with...
They're not children.
They're
no.
not. They're adults, but they've got to know the rules. They've got to know the rules. And some will say, well, my mother said that I could do this in her house, and as long as I'm there, I could do. So then what do you say? Well, this isn't your mother's house.
Probably. That sounds like a good answer.
You have to go according to what the center says, and so you can't do that, see?
Yeah, and it's just, and again, it's all up front, so it's before something happens,
Yeah.
that they're aware of what. And again, it's not just about rules; it's also expectations, and it's a two-way street too. When we're doing our assessment and orientation, people, we want to learn what they want too. What are their expectations? And it's not just about what their problems are. We want to know the person's strengths. Do they have things that are good qualities about them that'll help them with their recovery? What are their needs? Do they need a house? Do they need a job? Do they need better coping skills? And their idea of what their needs are might be different than their friend or
for
relative.
sure.
And what are their talents and abilities?
Excellent.
What are their preferences? Do they, want to work in a store, or would they want to work in an office? Do they want housing with roommates? Do they want to live alone? That's
Good points.
all important stuff to learn. So it's not just, they come here and we tell them all this stuff.
You have to do that, yeah.
We want to learn from them as well.
See,
and then we can help them better.
You're right. It is a two-way street, give and take. What you can learn from them is more helpful for you to help them.
Absolutely. You got to know the person in order to help them.
I mean, I think the public really needs to know that, you're out there, you're willing to help with whatever you can, jobs, positions, case management, housing, what is it you've got, physical...
We take people to the Waukegan Field House twice a week to work out, and then we do an exercise class right in our facility as well. And we work on serving healthy meals and teaching people about nutrition. We help people learn about their medications. A lot of people with mental illness have co-occurring substance use disorders, and that's everything: alcohol, cocaine, cannabis,
yeah.
heroin, cigarettes. People think, oh, drugs and it's alcohol and cocaine and that kind of thing, but a lot of people with mental illness die young from lung disease from cigarette smoking.
You know, when Vi and I used to go out to Elgin and bring gifts every time it was that month time, we'd bring all the gifts for everybody who had a birthday in July or August or January. No matter what the weather was, we were there. And Christmas, we were always bringing homemade, home-baked goods, nothing from the stores. We as the mothers brought all baked, home-baked goods. And it really was interesting to see, even though these were parents of others, not that their child or relative was there. They were so giving. I'm sure you must find that at the center as well, that your employees are as giving to the members as family would be to them.
Yeah, I think that the reason a lot of people get into this field is they want to be in a helping profession of some sort, and that's a motivator to do this kind of work. Certainly.
How long have you had the longest person be there? I mean, from day one, do you still have the original people that have come in for help?
I don't know if we have people from day one, but just about.
Really?
There's people who've been involved with our program since
For years?
For years, yes.
Wow.
But there's different courses of treatment. Some people, do need support for long term. Other people, again, need some help for a limited amount of time, and then they're okay. And others, it's more cyclical. They'll have times when they're able to be on their own, and then they'll need us again, and then be on their own again, and then come back after a few years. So there's many different courses.
But you're there for them regardless. You're there.
Yes, and we always welcome people back too.
Okay.
And that's happened. We've had people who've been gone for 5-10 years, and then something happens, and they feel like they need the services again, and they return.
So the doors don't close on people who need help.
No, they don't.
This is remarkable, absolutely. Well, you've heard from Jean this evening, and I hope that you are as impressed as I am. I'm always impressed with Jean. We go back a long way, long way with behavioral health in Lake County. The Independence Center is a remarkable center to be at. It gives you a feeling of warmth, of compassion, caring. There's always someone there to help you. If you need some assistance, they have a piano. You have a piano, I remember, a piano. Do you still have a piano?
We don't have a piano anymore.
Oh, I remember the piano. But if you are interested in any type of service for volunteering, contact Jean. Or if you'd like to, in passing, that someone you'd like to see your donation do good for people who need good, this is a good place to start. And your willingness to be able to understand those that suffer with this disability is very important. Please don't be harsh, and please understand that everybody has their little difficulties, but those that suffer with this particular illness, a mental illness, is very difficult just in social circles. And like Jean said, there are those out there with master's degrees, those that are professionals, CEOs, that really have problems, and the stress probably has gotten to them. There is our YouTube address, and please do feel free to contact us on YouTube. Look at us. It's wonderful. You'll see a number of programs that have been on the air that have caused pause for people who have not understood what the difficulties of reality are and what other people go through. We like to bring the public to you because you are the public, and if you have some kind of a situation that you'd like to put on the air, please contact me. There's my my address, bev.cooperscorner@yahoo.com. Contact me and let me know what you'd like to come on the air and tell. And you too could be on here for an hour, and we're live. We tell it like it is. So we just want to let you all know that you're all welcome to participate with whatever we have on the air. And I'm sure Jean would like to tell you a few things. You've got about a minute, so can you tell the people in a minute about what you'd like to leave them with?
Yeah, if you're somebody with severe and persistent mental illness, or you have a loved one, please contact me. We'd be happy to, discuss what we can do as far as services. If you just need, a little advice as far as what course to take, I'd be happy to field any of those questions and give whatever guidance I can. If it's something that we can't handle at Independence Center, I can point people in the direction of services that I think would be beneficial elsewhere as well.
That's great. All right, now it's my turn. I don't want to lose this. Lake County Honor Flight is hosting a fundraiser. The Honor Flight, that's for veterans. Let me do this quickly. Lake County Honor Flight is hosting a pancake breakfast fundraising event Saturday, this coming Saturday, March the 21st, at 1112 Sheridan Road, the VFW Post, 7448 Winthrop Harbor, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for children and under. The Lake County Honor Flight flies veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit memorials built in honor of their service to the nation. Honor Flight Network is a nonprofit organization created solely to honor American veterans all over their sacrifices. The transportation, their heroes to Washington, D.C. To visit and reflect on the memorials. Top priorities given to senior veterans, World War II survivors, along with those other veterans who may be terminally ill. All proceeds go to Lake County Honor Flight trips to Washington, D.C. Contact Lake County Honor Flight. Thank you for allowing us in your home or your place of business, and having Jean and I come there to visit with you, and hope you have a pleasant evening, a very safe week, and please visit us on our YouTube, and we'll be happy that you did. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.